Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about dispersion, understanding it, and probably more important, living with it. In recent time, a lot of young golfers have been coming onto the tour and hitting the ground running, winning tournaments straight away. Mr. DeChambeau is an example, Will Zalatoris another. And one of the things that these guys have in common is a thing called decade. Decade is found by a guy called Scott Fawcett, or invented, could you say. Scott basically looked at the data that he was seeing from Mark Brody and the stats that were coming off the tour and started to make some pretty clever analysis of these data. And Scott was able to see some of the things that we've been seeing all the time but not really believing. Guys on the tour are out there hitting golf shots and they just don't go straight all the time. One of the things I think a lot of amateur golfers have is this kind of idea that golf professionals only hit the golf ball straight. They only strike the golf ball perfectly. All the golf balls go miles and they all go down that line as if they were on a string, but they really don't. And I'm probably the best example of this. I've been playing golf for over 40 years and I think there aren't many guys out there who know more about the technique in a golf swing than I do, and even I can't hit it straight all the time. So what is the answer? Well, the answer's always been there. You've got to basically accept it, and you've got to change the way you're playing golf on the golf course. First of all, by simply changing your expectations. If you're expecting to hit the golf ball perfectly every time, you're in for a big disappointment. And obviously, if you're aligned perfectly straight, expecting the golf ball to go perfectly straight and it doesn't, then that's one of the reasons that you're going to start analysing your swing on the golf course. What did you do there? Why did it go right? Should you be thinking about your hips or your shoulders? Did your hands do something stupid? And all of these thoughts are not conducive to playing better golf. The net shot's not going to be better because you're thinking about your hips. So really, when you're hitting golf shots, you shouldn't really be thinking about too much at all. What you've got to do is, however, understand and look at your dispersion figures. The distances you're hitting the golf ball. Sometimes you'll hit it fat. Now, hitting it fat is probably a technical error, but hitting it 10 yards right or 10 yards left really isn't. That's a normal dispersion. And obviously, the longer the club, the greater the dispersion is going to get. If I'm looking at my 7-iron, I would expect sometimes to hit the ball 15 or 20 yards offline, and it won't give me the slightest thought that I've done anything particularly wrong. On the contrary, all I know is I've just got to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And I know that the dispersion will come out virtually the same every time that I play. Now, it might be that I hit the balls in the middle a little bit more often on a good day and the balls at the outside of my dispersion a little bit more often on a bad day. But I've got to take into account the dispersion. And that means, first of all, understanding how my dispersion pattern is. How many of my shots, if I were to hit 20 shots with a 7-iron, are landing right at the target, and how many of my shots are landing left of the target? How many of my shots are short and how many of my shots are long of the distance that I'm expecting to hit the ball with the club that I've got in my hand? Should I be aligning myself to the target differently in order to get this dispersion pattern more over the hole? One of the things which I find quite amazing, especially among amateur golfers, is how often they're willing to give criticism or helpful criticism to their playing partners or opponents. A lot of times they'll say, you're not lined up correctly, that's why it didn't work. How would they know? They don't know what kind of shot pattern you have. If you're hitting a fade or a small slice as your standard shot, let's hope you're not aiming at the target because the ball isn't going to land there. So for somebody to contradict the way you're standing, to put that idea in your head that you're doing something wrong, is certainly not going to help you play better golf for the rest of the round. So you've got to be ignoring that. But you've also got to know where you should be aligned in order to get the ball or more balls onto the green. What this also means, if you think of where I'm aiming, and if you look at the dispersion pattern there, apart from that fat shot that I've hit out there, a lot of the balls are simply landing a bit right of the target. So wouldn't it be a good idea if I lined myself up a little bit left of the target? If the target is the hole, then shouldn't I be aiming a little bit left of the hole? These are the simple decisions which Scott Fawcett is helping you to make with his new app, Decade. And I've been looking at this for a long time, deciding whether I should integrate that into the academy, and I've decided that this is really the way to go. That it's helping people, first of all, to get over their expectations, to make their expectations a bit more objective, to actually decide that they can accept the dispersion that they have and start actually aiming at targets that they're likely to hit. That means, first of all, changing their alignment so they're getting more balls landing at the point that they're aiming at, and then making decisions in their alignment based on the difficulty of the shot that's confronting them. If you have a water hazard on the left side of the green, wouldn't it be sensible to aim away from that, even if the flag is close to that point? If the flag is at the front of the green, wouldn't it be more sensible to hit the ball over the flag so that more of your balls are on the green if you don't hit them correctly? If you look at the dispersion, you will see you'll have dispersion not only left to right, but front to back. And therefore, if you have a dispersion of 10, 20 yards from front to back, and half of the balls are short and half of the balls are long, then a flag which is stuck at the front of the green means you're only going to hit the green with half the balls you hit, and otherwise you're going to be chipping. Now that is also not going to help you score at all. So one of the first things, if not the most important things in Decade, is just to get your expectations based more on reality, and to get out on a driving range and do more of what I'm doing today, which is basically just hitting golf balls to one target with one club, working out where the golf ball is going generally, where is the dispersion, long, short, left and right of your intended target, and then deciding based on that what your alignment should be in order to get more balls onto the target. If you're interested in learning more about Decade, I am not being financially helped here whatsoever. This is not an advert for Scott Fawcett and Decade. All I'm doing is giving you information that I think will help you in the coming season. I shall leave a link below so that you can sign up or have a look at his website. I will also leave a couple of discount codes. Once again, you get the discount, I don't, but I think this could really help you in the coming season. And if you watch some of Scott's videos, you will be amazed by the guys who are using Decade and paying for it, and what kind of effect it's having on their game. Hope this has helped you. If it has, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to me if you haven't done already. Once again, a massive thank to all of my patrons who are supporting the channel every month with their hard-earned dollars, pounds and euros. I look forward to seeing you all again very shortly. Until then, goodbye. I think that one actually went straight. Good Lord. Yeah, not bad. See you next time.